how do you know that you're not brute forcing your way into a practice? And, and a Wim Hof practice is a really good example because most people would not voluntarily get into ice water unless they were thrown in by accident. So, how would you know that that's actually good for you? There's a lot of subtlety in this. So I'm not going to tell you it's easy to know that all the time. The first thing is it depends on your temperament. So my temperament is I have very high pain tolerance. So I have to be extremely careful about this. And this is how I actually got in trouble a little bit with the Wim Hof practice, is that I have a part of me that is really just detached from anything emotional, just wanting to have a higher score. Because it's a thrill, it's kind of a dopamine hit to get a higher score. Not good idea, because I actually hurt myself a little bit doing that through the Wim Hof practice. It wasn't just the Wim Hof practice, it was that plus other things and a lot of stress, because I didn't pay attention to the fact that maybe sometimes pushing harder isn't always the right idea, right? So, but let me give you a guideline about how that could work. And so first, what is your temperament? So knowing my temperament, thankfully I finally do, I am someone that has very high pain tolerance, and therefore I have to be doubly careful about, is this helpful or not? And so the way you'll know usually is, how do you feel afterwards? So that's the real key, I think. So if you do something you don't want to do, afterwards you're going to feel bad in some way, like low energy or angry. Like that, you can look for those sorts of those reactions. You're like, kind of like when someone treats you poorly, and then you realize later, hey, they really put me down in front of all my friends. What the F? And then maybe you start getting depressed about that, or angry about it, or something like that. Or some people, so that, okay, back to temperament. So if you're a highly agreeable temperament, which, many people that have chronic illness have that problem, then you feel stepped on all the time and unconsidered. And so you could even think about, okay, if that's your temperament, if you do something that you feel forced into, even by yourself, that's what you'll feel. You'll feel that same sort of pattern of, I'm never considered, I never get what I want, no one cares about my needs. That sort of scenario would pop up. And that's what to watch out for, because I don't think I've ever met a chronic pain client who was really good at speaking up for what they wanted. So that, therefore, I think that there are people that often feel they have to take what others give them and not complain, right? So this is right, and this is a funny thing, because even within a therapy session with me, so here they are coming into my office paying me to help them, and I do something, they don't like it, but they think that, well, I'm the expert, so they should just take it. And I've caught clients over and over again doing that. I'm like, no, here's how it works. This is your session, right? You actually get a say. And if you don't like the direction of the session, you get to tell me that, and we get to work it out together, what would work for you. And and I've done that with a number of clients who are especially challenged in that regard, in terms of speaking up for their needs. And once I successfully got them to tell me the truth, they start getting a lot better. And often the treatments they're wanting isn't what I would think was the best thing, because clinically I know that typically with your condition you should do this to get better. But again, if they're not in alignment with that, doesn't matter what I think, doesn't matter what the data says. What matters is that what their body is telling them in regards to, the congruence between, is my body agreeable to this? Am I actually feeling better from this? Or am I just forcing myself because someone told me, and I don't have a good network, kind of a framework in myself to disagree with that? Because agency is actually, loss of agency is actually one of the main triggers of chronic illness. That's what trauma is, actually, is a feeling of powerlessness.
If you found this content helpful, please like and subscribe. You can look forward to more videos about how to overcome chronic illness and chronic pain.